Hi there and welcome to this week's edition of your Wheel and Anchor weekly newsletter. I decided to make a little trip off my island since I hadn't left in the last 3 months, and I came over here to Koh Samui, which is the much more famous beach destination, and it became really apparent to me in arriving here the extent to which the pandemic has affected tourism. This beach behind me here is called Chaweng Beach, and it's one of the most famous, well-known beaches in not just Thailand, but all of Southeast Asia, frankly. And as you can see, there's almost nobody here. And so it's really struck a chord with me about how much of a drastic impact that this coronavirus has had here throughout Thailand. And frankly, as far as tourism is concerned, there's no end in sight. But let's hope that things will gradually return to normal before too long. I just wanted to mention the results from our edition 3 of our virtual travel trivia, which we had earlier this week. We had a lot of fun talking about or asking questions about such categories as capital cities of Southeast Asia and a number of other fun topics. So we'll be doing it again in a couple of weeks' time. We'll let you know the date, but the winner of a $100 travel voucher is Diane Green. So congratulations, Diane. You'll get a postcard from me in the mail with a $100 travel voucher for your next, for any Wheel and Anchor trip that's upcoming. This coming week, we're going to be doing a webinar about the Azores and Porto. So we're going to be talking about the Azores, which is a trip that we had originally planned to do our inaugural one in March of this year, but of course, due to the coronavirus, we had to postpone that. But there was great response to it because I think, the Azores is really one of those places that's you've heard of, but you don't know much about it other than that it sounds really beautiful, and in fact it is. And so on our webinar, we'll be talking about the stunning landscapes, these mountains, volcanoes actually, of green, as well as the whole coastline surrounded by cobalt blue water. It's quite a spectacular destination. We're going to be going there in November again, God willing, as well as in April. And in April of 2021, we're going to be combining our Azores trip with a second part to Porto in Portugal. And once again, Porto is one of these places that has really kind of just emerged on the tourist map over the last sort of 5 to 10 years. Lisbon has captured sort of all the attention in Portugal, but frankly speaking, Porto is easily as beautiful a city as Lisbon. The medieval architecture surrounded on the sort of the steep banks. The city is situated on at the mouth of the Douro River. That was actually one of the questions in our travel trivia. And it has some incredible sights to see. So we're going to be spending 5 nights in Porto and really taking a in-depth, how should we say, a little taste test of the incredible culinary experience that is on offer there. And finally, just one more thing I wanted to mention. We've come up with another new concept that we're going to be launching on July the 7th. And we haven't come up with a name for it yet, but we're going to be interviewing a series of people from around the world who have a particular connection to their local community, obviously in the travel and tourism industry, or perhaps also not, and it gives a little bit of a better insight into some of these countries and what life is like over there, and what one could expect to see and do, and some of the issues that people are confronting there. So we thought it would be a great way to introduce some countries in the world, some destinations that you might not otherwise know a lot about. We're going to start off on July the 7th with a familiar face to those of us who came on our Egypt, Israel, and Jordan trip this past January. We're going to be have as a host on our webinar Yunus Mohammed from Cairo, Egypt. Yunus was one of our terrific guides that we had and he really has incredible insight into the country, not just from a tourism standpoint, but in general, how what life is like and how things have evolved in Egypt in particular in the years since the Arab Spring and the Egyptian Revolution. So we're going to be hearing from Yunus, and for those of you who did come out on the trip, should be of interest too, because it'll be almost like a little reunion where we'll, and I know he was very much beloved by our members. So look out for that. That's on Tuesday, July the 7th at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on that note, as you can see, I've still hardly seen anybody out here on the beach, but I'm going to keep walking and hope to run into somebody. So enjoy your week, and I look forward to catching up with you again next week.